Welcome to the Chicken Box. It's another wonderful Thursday. If you woke up, let me hear you say, "Yeah." I know.
Yeah.
I can't even hear you. I can't even hear you talk back, except y'all. But look, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you smiled today. You thought about something great. You were grateful. You were thankful when you woke up. I am Kevin Impeccable Peck, along with my co-host Courtney Alexander and Dr. Draper, the CEO of the Afro. And this is the Chicken Box. If you're from the Baltimore area, you know what chicken box means: four wings, fries, salt and pepper, ketchup, maybe some hot sauce. The box is good. If you're from DC, because we deal with, we in the DMV, you're going to throw some mumbo sauce on it. And it might come in a styrofoam. The styrofoam might be burned, but the chicken is good. If you're hungry, I just made myself really hungry. I wasn't even trying to make myself hungry. But we got a great show today. Courtney, how are you? Courtney, how you doing
I'm
today?
blessed to be alive today. I'm blessed to be
What's up?
alive today. You're talking about that mumbo sauce. I tried some when I was in DC. It is so good.
Right. It is.
Highly
It
recommend.
is. I mean, I'm a shout out Mumbo. So let's shout out to Mumbo. So, Dr. Draper,
Yes, sir.
looking really good in that red today. How are you?
I am doing well. This is the day that the Lord has made. I'm rejoicing and glad in it. So I'm doing well.
So
Thank
let's
you.
get to it. Black people versus small business. Who wants to start a business? Who's in business? Who's dreaming about a business? Who always thought they wanted to start their own business but doesn't have the courage? We have a special guest today, Courtney. If you want to introduce our special guest, we're gonna get right into it because we got to get down to the business
Yes, indeed.
and what does small business mean anyway. We're gonna get to all of that. Go ahead, Courtney.
So today we have Carl Brown joining us. Carl Brown is the State Executive Director of the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center on the prestigious campus of Howard University. He has a wealth of small business development knowledge with over 25 years of experience. His subject matter expertise is in the following areas: human resources, sales, marketing, procurement, and government contracting. Additionally, he is the host of the popular radio TV show, The Small Business Report, airing on the Sirius XM channel 141 every Thursday, Tuesday, and Friday.
We got some music and sound effects. Carl, welcome to the Chicken Box. How are you, my brother?
Hello, hello. How's everybody?
Well, thank you.
We are fantastic. We ready to get into this topic of black people versus small business. And I guess that can be broad, but just a little bit about what you do. I know you're the host with the most, and you have an extensive resume, and you also have the opportunity to be a member of that prestigious fraternity. That's not on your bio, babe. We're gonna need that on your bio going forward of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I got to put it on there. But
Absolutely.
let me tell you, since the pandemic has hit, the number of folks coming in for services at my SBDC, and SBDCs are located across the country. We're in every state:
Mm.
Guam, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, the Virgin Islands, and the Marianas Islands. So we are in every state and the territories, okay? And all of us, have seen an increase in the number of businesses, or people rather, seeking to start businesses in our respective centers. And let me just give you some benchmark numbers. In 2018, we saw a grand total of 493 clients. All
Mm.
right. 493 clients. Last year, we saw 2,034. Right.
Wow.
I mean, I want to say it was all due to my marketing and all that, but it was not, because in 2020, we saw 1355. In 2021, 1769. In 2022, again, 2034. And we're going to beat that number this year. All right. We're going to beat that number. So that's the number of people coming in looking for services. Now, what services does the SBDC provide, Small Business Development Center provide? We provide confidential one-on-one counseling. Why? Because it is no one else's business but yours. So we don't do group chat and all that. We do one-on-one confidential counseling. We also do business, or what I call industry research. So we provide that for you for free. The counseling is for free. We also do a lot of workshops and webinars, and we also work with you on your loan package. So we help you get money, funding, and let me talk about that, because that is something that is really, really big and often overlooked in the Black community. Now, we all know that a certain percentage of bank loans are turned down for discriminatory reasons. Okay. Let's put that at
Say that
5.
percentage again.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm saying maybe let's give it 5-10%. All right.
All right.
Because most of the lenders, most of the folks that I'm working with look like us. So they're not trying to turn you down. In fact, they're bonused on their loan portfolio. So the more loans they got out, the bigger the bonus. So let's talk about what we uncovered when the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loans, came out under the SBA, and the PPP, which was the Payroll Protection Program, which was funded by the SBA but distributed through banks. Okay, what we found out, and this was with Beverly Winstead, a very well-known tax attorney in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
And Lisa Anderson, CPA. They were working for me during the COVID, what they called the CARES Act. And they came to me and said, hey, a lot of our clients are not qualifying for multiple reasons. Haven't paid their federal taxes. Well, then the federal government is not going to give you a loan or a grant if you haven't paid federal taxes. They weren't in compliance with their basic business license. Again, you're not in compliance, then the government's not going to give you any money. They didn't have like a business bank account. I mean, so it was a myriad of reasons why we were failing to get that funding. All right. Now, of course, the thieves made themselves look great. So we heard about all those folks that got the money and bought cars and houses and expensive trips and all that, clothes, and that was a small percentage. I mean, of course, the media makes it out like it was everybody. No, it wasn't everybody, because a lot of people didn't get the money. And so what we did, we started a whole financial literacy program to help our small businesses overcome those obstacles in which they have had. A lot of them don't have like a financial infrastructure, meaning they don't have like a QuickBooks or a NetSuite or something like that. And that's imperative, because you need to show how the money's coming in, how the money's being spent, where it's being spent on, and how you're going to pay back any loan that you're going to get. When you don't have that, how can you show to a bank or a CDFI, which is a Community Development Financial Institution, how are you going to show them how you're going to pay this thing back? And so we're working with our businesses on all of that, because we want to overcome that hurdle so that we don't have to hear, no, you don't qualify in the future. And so, a lot of people want to just say, oh, well, it's discriminatory. No, when you look at it, it may not be. And let's overcome that hurdle so that we don't have to deal with that, so that you are looking legitimate, that you are in compliance with the federal, state, and local regulations and the regulatory agencies, whether it's the state of Maryland with your business license and articles of incorporation and all of that good stuff, and you pay your taxes, or the District of Columbia Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection. Now, we work with all of those agencies so that we can help you overcome those obstacles one-on-one. Okay, that's part of that one-on-one confidential counseling that I was talking about. And we have at DLCP, which is Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection, where everyone has to go to get their, to register their corporation, turn in their articles of incorporation and all that good stuff. We work with them. I mean, on a regular basis, and they come out to our events. They actually have provided us office space in their office and computers so that we could work with folks right there. So this is not, oh, and we work with the IRS because guess what? The IRS is, one of the biggest hurdles that we have to overcome is record keeping. When we're talking, we go out and we have a business lunch, but then we don't have any records. But we want to deduct that, or we make a purchase of some equipment and then we don't keep the receipts, and then we want to deduct it. I mean, you got to have your receipts, as they say. Got to have the receipt.
And you got to have the receipts. If you just tuned in, we have Executive Director Carl Brown from the DC. Let me see. You got the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center, which we say we have SBDCs, Small Business Development Centers, all over the country. And he just happens to run the nation's capital. I didn't say it earlier, but I'm going to give a plug. The Chicken Box is powered by the Afro-American newspaper, which is the oldest Black business in Maryland. Speaking of small businesses or large businesses or whatever you think of a business, 131 years of informing, inspiring, educating, and just telling our story. We bring the good news, y'all. There's enough other news out there. And we'll spank you if you step out of line. We'll hug you. We'll spank you and hug you at the same time. But we bring the good news, and we're more than just the crime bleep that you tend to always show. We get married, we got doctors, we got small businesses, we got geniuses, we got inventions that y'all took that you still claiming credit for. We got patents, listen, we doing the thing, okay? Small business in the Black community it's vital, and we don't take it lightly at the Afro. So visit us. Yes, we still have a newspaper, a legacy edition. We also have, of course, a website, social media, and all that stuff. But we are launching a new network, which we'll talk about in the future, but I'm gonna let you know today, called the Digital Billboard Network. And where we're not gonna wait for you to come to us. They're gonna be digital billboards highlighting small businesses as well as great stories in our community coming to a location near you. So stand by for that. But we have Carl Brown. We're gonna get right back to it. He said it's not really discrimination, Dr. Draper. He said,
not all the time.
We don't have our things in order. We can't just come up with an Instagram name and think that we're in business. What you say, CEO? CEO to CEO.
Yeah, that's true. And even though the government has a definition of small business, there are all the way up to, I think, 16 million and up to 500 employees. Small business means different things to different people. And there are gradations of small business. So Carl Brown, talk to us a little bit. I know you do work with helping small businesses of all kinds. A lot of times, at least when I've worked with small businesses, it's been around startups and the kind of things you're talking about, your records in order, getting your QuickBooks, getting your attorney, getting your accountant, the startup businesses. But how about the more mature businesses that are trying to scale? And if you could say something about that, and also the value of or how to become certified, especially in the District of Columbia. I know you have to be in Maryland as well, be a certified small business to do certain business with with a government agency. I know those are a couple, 2, 3, 4 questions in one, but I see a lot of programs geared towards the startup, the business that's been around the first couple of years, because a lot of businesses fail in the first couple of years. I get not as many programs for businesses like ours that have been around for a long time, still are in the small business definition, but are looking to scale up and scale out of the small business definition, right? We all can't say small businesses, but there are not as many African-American owned businesses that exceed that $16 million if I'm right about that or whatever. The first,
Yeah, you're right. That it goes up. It depends on your NAICS code.
okay.
That's how you
Tell
size
people, tell
standard.
people what that is so that they can,
North American Industrial Standard Code.
okay.
And you thought I ain't know.
No, I didn't think I
We
didn't
knew
think
you
at
knew.
all. We knew you knew. You know, I knew that you knew, but then
Thank you.
the people that tuned in all over the country, and
Right,
I
right.
didn't want to send everybody to Google all at one time. But go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, we it goes up to 32 million in
Okay.
construction. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so and 500 employees in IT, and then it goes down from there. But you can go to census.gov and they have all of the NAICS codes. So, and if you're in business, you should know your NAICS code. You know, you should know your NAICS code. It should be on your capability statement. All right. So I want to tackle the mature first, and then I'll go into the certifications, if that's okay.
Yep.
And we do work with mature businesses. Now, a lot of times they don't come in because they say, well, hey, you know, your services are free. I'm bigger than that now. And I can tell you this, if I was in that boat, I would look at free services first and then seek and pay for services. Because all of the counselors that I work with, that I hire, have a master's degree and are business owners. So these are not people that are telling you, well, on page 25 in this marketing book, this is what it says how to market. No, these are people that are out there running their business every day, making money and making decisions and hiring folks and letting folks go if they have to, and all that good stuff. So we like to work with mature businesses or businesses that are celebrating 10 or 15 to 20 years. You know, sometimes they come in and they want to do a refresh. They want to rebrand, which is good, you know. Now, let's talk about scaling up. Baby boomers are retiring at 10 to 12,000 a month. And some have said that number is accelerated because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm getting those numbers from census.gov again. All right. So it's not Carl's crazy numbers. So, because of course, everybody's going to challenge me on anything that I say, which is okay with me because I like that. So baby boomers are retiring. And guess what? They're not selling their businesses. They're for the most part, what they're doing is shutting off the lights, locking the door, and walking away. And the way I look at it, it's like they leave a ton of money sitting right on the table. And so what some people have learned is that they scale up their business by buying existing businesses. All right. That's how they scale up. Because if you're going to sell your business, we'll go through a process called evaluation, and we'll look at it and determine how much money this business is making. All right. And then we'll give them a number based on that number, because you have to look at liabilities, you know, long-term liabilities, short-term liabilities, and your revenue numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then if there's any physical assets, you know, if they own the building or they're renting, what's the lease? If they have a lease, what's the monthly lease worth and all that. So you got to calculate all those things in there. And then you make an offer. Well, if they were going to leave anyway, you don't have to give them total what the total number was. Give them, you know, say the business is generating 300,000 a year. And you say, well, over the next 5 years, I'll pay you 50 or 75, 25 or 50,000, whatever you can come up with that makes sense. Because then what you want to do is scale up with the knowledge that you have, scale up that business. So if it's making 300 and you're betting on yourself, you're betting that you can grow that business to 400 or 500. All right. Because you're bringing in your clients as well. So then the amount of money that you're paying out is not going to hurt you. So That's one way to do it.
Hey,
Another
that
way is
sounds
looking
like
for.
that's a good point. I mean, a lot of us have been watching Shark Tank, and they always see. I just popped in my head when you say valuation, and that person says, "Well, how much do you think it's worth?" And then they're going through that exercise that you. Is it a quick way to go through the valuation, or is it something somebody should just look up, or is that something you discuss at the small business development?
We discuss it, but we don't do it. We prefer that you hire somebody that is very knowledgeable about that, because there's all kind of hidden liabilities. Okay, could be some workers' comp issues. If you got a bunch of people working for you in a warehouse environment or whatever. Might have been a car crash where there's a long-term impact on somebody's life.
Mm.
And then they come back and sue you, or there's a court case out or whatever. So you got to look at all of that stuff. I mean, and then some people have two sets of books. We found that to to be the case a lot of times. They're showing you one thing. Oh yeah, I'm doing really great. Then when you find out, well, what's the bank account say?
Right.
You telling me you running 500,000 through the bank account, okay. Like, what are the bank statements saying is a whole totally different, So I mean, it's you got to go through a process. And I would say, to protect yourself, you want to get someone that's an expert in that field, one, and you want to go through the whole process. You don't want to shortchange yourself, because you don't want to open that door on that Monday morning when you take over. You got the keys and now you're in charge, and then you get the lawsuit or something comes in that's gonna take a hit out of your finances. That's not something you want to deal with.
Right. So what I hear
And
you say, it's a lot of businesses out there, and
a
the way
lot of
that
businesses.
that scale and their first gen businesses, and the kids didn't want it, and the owners are just tired. And I know you mentioned the boomers were retiring, so some of these boomers are first generation business owners. They may be just ready to tap out, and none of the kids, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do the landscaping business, or they don't want to do the
Or
business.
they don't want the pizzeria, the restaurant. They don't want the accounting practice. Whatever it is. They don't want the cleaners. I mean, I recently ran across one family selling their cleaners to somebody outside of the family. The mother had the cleaners for like 30 years, and the son worked in there, and he said, "No, I'm done. We're done as a family. We're selling, and I'm gonna go sit down." You know. And this was a young guy. I mean, he was only in his 30s. I mean, not even 40 years old, but he was like, "I'm done." So I don't know what he's going to do, what the future holds, but they sold it to outsider.
I
So
get
yeah,
it.
hmm
Okay, we got, hey, it's just shouting out Craig, Stacy, Theodore, Byron, everybody who's listening. Put in where you're from. If you want to own a small business, just put a hand raise or something in there if you're interested. And if you're definitely in the DC area, you got to definitely check out Carl Brown at the. You guys got so many letters. The SBDC, DCSBDC,
right.
right?
I start with DC. I finish with DC.
There you
DC,
go. That's an easy
SBDC.
way to
Yeah,
remember it, right?
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so just a shout out to you. But Craig asked a question: how do you market or advertise your services?
Well, we can't, unfortunately, and that's why nobody's heard of us. I mean, we have strict requirements from the SBA. We're partially funded by the SBA.
Got you.
So we can't really advertise. I mean, which is crazy to me. But what we do is we do social media.
Got you.
Because we would not be able to survive without social media. I don't know what they did years ago before social media. They probably just sat around all day waiting for a customer to come in. Because if you remember, I said we had in 2018 493 customers. All right. In 2022, 2034.
So these are just people. When you say customers, people discover that you have this wonderful service. See, I like the fact that it says development. You remember in a photograph had to be developed.
Right.
You have to be developed as an entrepreneur, as a business person, and so people are discovering sometimes after hitting their head that they need a little bit more training, like I used to say, or they need to develop more to get to the next level, right?
Or they come in because they don't want to hit their head. And I tell them, if you have an idea, come in, let us start having that discussion with you.
From the
So
beginning.
that from the beginning, yeah, concept phase. Does this even make sense? Because what we want to do is teach you the right way so we don't have to reteach you how to do things the right way after you start doing things the wrong way. As I addressed earlier, where you didn't have a business bank account, that first thing we're going to tell you is go get a business bank account, because you want to be legitimate, and if you out there making money and everything's going through your household account, are you really a business? You're a business on paper to some degree, but to legitimize yourself, you have to have a business bank account, and you have to have things in your business name, so
Absolutely. You just tuned in, y'all. We're talking about Black people versus small business. We see the FAU, Friends of the African Union. Um, I think if you send a note to editor at the Afro, we'd love to find out more about what you guys do. And thanks for tuning in to the Chicken Box today. This is powered by the Afro American newspaper, the Maryland's oldest Black business, 131 years. Go to afro.com. For less than 2 Uber Eats, you can have a digital subscription today coming right to your mailbox. You need to stay informed. We need to know about different people. We need to support each other. Nobody owns our press. Nobody tells us what to say. We can bring a Carl Brown on that can bring benefits because we know it is a lot of people who want to start a business.
right.
All businesses aren't worth starting. Courtney, have you ever wanted to start a business? My Gen Z buddy, you back? Can you hear me? They trying to slow down the Gen Z's internet. Probably hot.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry if I'm lagging on my end. What is this?
The question was, have you ever wanted to start a business?
The thought has crossed my mind before. Yeah, the thought has crossed my mind before. It's a lot that definitely goes into it. Like getting registered, deciding if you
Mhm.
want to register as like an LLC. You have to
Mhm.
do marketing, like advertising. Like it's a lot of components that goes into it, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize like how much work it really does take.
Yeah, but guess what? If you got somebody that is a seasoned business counselor working with you, then it takes away all of those trials and tribulations right there. Because a lot of business owners say to me, "Oh, I thought I was alone. I didn't have anybody to talk to." And yeah, as a business owner, you can't go to the water cooler and say, "Man, I don't know how I'm gonna meet payroll this week." Woo!
Right. For those who don't know it, what that means you got more than yourself, and you got to pay them, and they're expecting you to pay them, and you trying to figure out how you gonna pay them
How you gonna pay them?
because maybe your sales have not been enough to pay the rent, keep this fast internet on, and everything else, and you trying to juggle, you trying to scale, you trying to figure it out. You wearing all the hats. You the technician, the visionary, and what else, Dr. Draper? You all of those things.
All of that. And you raise a good point, though. I mean, this is a little bit off the subject, but as Courtney's talking about starting a business, and you got to pay folk above the table.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, what I mean is you got to set up the payroll the correct way. They have to pay their taxes, and you have to pay your tax,
Payroll tax, FICA,
FICA tax,
all that, all
all of
that.
that, whether you like it or not. You still
Hmm.
That's the only way that's going to legitimize your business. And the other thing is that a lot of businesses fall out of good standing in the municipality that they register in because didn't complete a form, didn't send in Maryland it's a Form 1, you didn't send the form in by April 15th or June.
That's right.
So my advice to small businesses, and Carl would say the same thing, the first two people you hire are your accountant and your lawyer, even if they're just on an as needed basis. Because for most of us that are in business, unless you're an accounting firm, that's not, or a lawyer, that's not your strength. And you lose money doing all that stuff yourself.
And time.
Absolutely.
But time is money. That's what I meant by you lose money.
You know what I say? If you can get, in the DMV, we're very strong. We have a very competitive environment here. There's a lot of lawyers, a lot of accountants, a lot of HR people, a lot of IT people. If you can get some of your friends to be on your board, your advisory board, to help you, navigate through some of those things, in addition to the services that we provide, and then there's SCORE and there's women business centers as well. There's a lot of free resources out here. Okay, you got to understand that there's a lot of free resources out here, and these people are there for you. It's up to us to take advantage of it. Excuse me. A lot of times I say, did you ride over here? Did you drive over here? People say, yeah. I said, well, like if I'm at an event, and I would say, well, you didn't complain about that free road you just came on. These are your tax dollars at work, take advantage of them. We offer all of these services. And like I said, everybody that works for me got a master's degree or better. Some have law degrees, some have other credentials like CPAs and all that good stuff. And go back to certifications, Dr. Draper. We work with a lot of businesses on those certifications, whether it's CBE in the district, which is Certified Business Enterprise, DBE under the Department of Transportation. When I worked at DC Metro, I put together, along with Zanita Hurley Wickham, I put together a MOU, and at the time it was Governor O'Malley and Governor Tim Kaine, Adrian Fenty in the District of Columbia. We had two governors and the mayor sign an MOU for the DBE certification, so that if you're certified in the state of Maryland, you didn't have to go through that process in the District of Columbia or Virginia. And because we are so centered in tight in this area, there's a lot of construction projects going on in all of those jurisdictions. And what they would normally make you go through is get certified in each one of those jurisdictions, which is really a business killer to me.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Baltimore City's like that. They will not take the state certification.
Yeah, see that doesn't make any sense, because and what I was trying to push was the gold standard is the in my opinion, the DB certification. And you had a strong office at one point. Now I don't know what the situation is now, but at one point you had a very strong office, and they were going through those certifications. They were turning folks down that didn't qualify and all that. And so we put together this MOU. Had two governors and the mayor sign it. The general manager of Metro and the general manager of MWA sign it, so that people didn't have to go through that certification process 3, 4, 5 times, which didn't make any sense to me at all.
So we know what these acronyms are, but can you help us?
Absolutely. DBE under the U.S. Department of Transportation is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and you have to be a minority, 51% owner in that, or woman-owned business, 51% owner and control of the business. Now, we were getting these white women packages that said they were 100% owner, but they were the accountant for the business. and it was construction business or rail business. So we had to turn them down. Why? Because how could you evaluate your employees? So you gotta show control, and that's the main thing. Control. If you can't evaluate me fairly, if this company is a masonry company and you're doing marketing, but you're 100% owner of the business, how can you evaluate my mason work? you know, I'm out here putting up walls or sidewalks or whatever, and you don't even know if I'm doing it good or right or wrong, because that's not your technical competence. And so we would turn those businesses down because they didn't qualify. They showed 100% ownership, but they didn't show control. You see,
Absolutely.
and they were rightfully turned down, and we didn't lose not one appeal when we did that. Um, and we certified those that fell into that ownership and control and under the financial uh, ceiling that they had on personal net worth. But I was always hoping that they would take that one out. And earlier, it was mentioned that intellectual property. Um, at Howard University, we have a patent and trademark resource center, which is one of the 86 that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has located on college campuses throughout the country. And we work with a lot of businesses on getting their patents and trademarks. And we try to teach them about intellectual property. And also, we also work with the Library of Congress on getting copyrights. See, a lot of people think that Patent and Trademark Office handles copyrights as well. No, it's two different things. Library of Congress handles all of the copyrights. Another thing that the Library of Congress has is every book that was ever published. That's that's their moniker or tagline, if you will. But we work with our Patent and Trademark Resource Center, which is in the School of Business Library, and we're located in the School of Business on the campus as well. And the young lady over there, her name is Adia Coleman, and we work hand in glove. I mean, we take our customers over there, and some people that come into her center looking for assistance with their patent and trademarks, she brings them over to us. Say, hey, did you know about these guys? You need to get some other assistance, and so we work very well together. And
So basically, the DC SBDC, y'all are the plug. So if you're looking to start a small business and you in this area, you can get them pretty much all around the city and
right,
or all around the DMV. Stacy brings up a good point too. When you were talking about AI as well, because that's a whole. We about to get into a whole bunch of. I'm sure the Library of Congress is losing their mind now a little bit with all of this new AI happening and being able to keep track of who did what, said what, and what kind of learning did the machine do, and what was really Carl Brown's writing and not the machine's writing, and did you do a fusion? Did you ask AI to say, hey, give me a writing in Carl Brown's voice, but with a kind of from Dr. Draper, and then you got two two of your copyrights mixed in there somehow, and it's coming out, and I'm using it on my speech.
yeah, right. I mean, it's going to get real interesting real soon, real quick.
If you're lost, AI is around you. Please pay attention, people. Black people, we have to be on technology. We can't just say I don't know how to work it. You can't. That's not an excuse anymore. About your phone, about all these technology and smart things, they're going to help enhance your business. We talk about Black people versus small business. We have the executive director Carl Brown, along with CEO Dr. Draper, and our digital team Courtney Alexander, reigning from Chicago. See, the pandemic made everybody just global. We zoomed our way into streaming to seeing each other's beautiful face. But the Afro is going to continue this to share the message. We wanted to bring you on today to get people, because there's somebody out here who needed to hear the information. So if you are watching on Facebook right now or on LinkedIn, share the conversation, because it might not be for you, because you might be above that, or this isn't a topic that sparks you. But somebody who wants to go into business doesn't know how to go into business, and a lot of us don't have time to show people because we're trying to make the payroll at the water cooler sometimes and make it happen and do everything. And you got to decide, do I just want to do this trade because I can bake a cake real good, or do I really want to run the bakery? And do you talk about that, Carl?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
good,
I mean,
who's the technician, who's the best baker ever, but
yes.
can they run a business too?
No.
Oh, come on, man. Talk to me. Talk to
No,
me.
no. Some of them can, and some of them, okay, like, I'm gonna show my age. There's a commercial way back in the day where the guy gets up at the crack of dawn. I mean, like 4 a.m, got to go make the donuts, right? And that's his thing. Well, there are people out here that are really good at the technical craft. They can cook well. They can make furniture. They can do a whole lot of stuff. But as far as ordering, logistics, event planning, making payroll, they're not good at that at all. They're not good at that at all. And those are the folks that just need to come in and get some assistance. And we can identify, where your weaknesses are and help you identify candidates that can help you overcome those weaknesses. And sometimes, like Dr. Draper said earlier, hiring people. Well, sometimes you just need a 1099, a consultant to come in every now and then and take a look at what you got going on to assist you. And there's a big difference between an employee and a 1099. And a lot of small businesses get into trouble when they claim they are hiring the 1099, but then they say, well, report here Monday through Friday and you can sit at that desk. No, that's an employee. A consultant is not going to come in your office Monday through Friday and sit at your desk 8 hours a day. That's not what they do. When I was a
if the
consultant,
check's
that's
big
not
enough,
what I
Carl,
did.
some of them will come in there. I'm telling you.
Well, yes, if they ain't got nowhere else to go. But I mean, me, no, I would do my work. I'd be in the hotel. I might be in the Starbucks. I might be somewhere. But I would go in when I had to, when I was a consultant. And when I did my trainings, I would definitely be in there. But I would be at home or wherever. Might be in the airport working on a paper or a project for them.
Right.
So that, sitting behind the desk, no, that wasn't what I was there to do.
Stacey
So
Palmer has a question for you. For maybe all of us. Can you give a few short words of the importance of marketing and social media? Stacey, are you saying as it relates to your small business? I would guess that would be it.
Okay, well let me just tell you this. Never, if you in business, never stop marketing your business. Because it's not for the people that know you already. It's for the people that don't know you. And that's your target. The people that already know you, they either going to support you or they going to support you when they support you. But, friends and family, they only going to buy but so much from you. Okay. Well, let's not hate on them and let's not hurt them by, being mad at them when you marketing.
So why are we mad? Let's stop right there, Carl. I think this is a good point. Why are we mad when our family and friends don't support what we think is our dream?
What I'm saying is, say I'm in the t-shirt business, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody buys a t-shirt. Okay, then I'm good. Or not everybody, but I get a few sales out of friends and family. But that ain't my target, And,
I thought you were going the other way around. I thought you were like, "Hey, I got this t-shirt business, but none of my friends buy them." Like, like they don't support me. I found that out.
If they're your friends, they should be wearing your t-shirt. If they're your friends, They should at least talk about your t-shirts. I mean, if they're your friends.
Say it one more time.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but
You know,
just said don't depend on them because
yeah, I'm saying, but they're not
they're
going
not
to
your
buy
real
100
friends, though.
t-shirts from you.
They not your real friends, are they?
You know,
No.
but if they ain't supporting you at all, they ain't your real friends. That's the bottom line. You know, so I mean,
I agree, Dr. Draper. What do you think about that statement?
Well, I think that, if I'm friends with you and you have a business that does not offend my values, what I stand for, it's not obscene or anything like that, and I'm your friend, you shouldn't give me a t-shirt to buy. I should buy a t-shirt. I mean,
exactly.
I should purchase a t-shirt to wear because t-shirts cost. And we wear all kinds of t-shirts that don't mean a thing. So why not help? Yeah, our whole staff has Afro t-shirts, right?
There you go.
Go. Now we're going on a wellness trip tomorrow. I don't expect people to wear their t-shirts. If they want to, that's fine. But we go other places where we wear our t-shirts. We represent. So if you work for the company or you're a friend of your friend, why not? I mean, I can't understand the objection to it. Most of them are black or white. Some of them are yellow and purple, but fine. Why not? Wear the t-shirt, help to promote each other's businesses. Listen, if you took all of us, small businesses are important in America. We make the economy go, right? But in the African American community, if you took all of our businesses in most markets and put them together, we are half the size of the largest non-minority owned business in our markets.
Yep. And let me tell you also, all right, we got to support each other. We go out there, we run out there and buy Gucci, Moochie, and everybody else. Okay? But if I say, hey,
did you say Moochie?
Yeah, Moochie. They mooching out of my pocket. They mooching on me. So we go out there, we run out there and buy all that stuff. All that stuff. I don't even want to give out their names, right? But we don't support each other. We have a problem with that.
Not all the time. You have a business.
Not all the time, right?
You have a business.
Me, yeah. I got the radio show, the Small Business Report.
You have a t-shirt?
I have shirts like this.
Okay.
Polo shirts.
All right.
I do have some t-shirts, but you
have a shirt with your logo on it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yep.
so we have a mall. This is my plug. There's something called the AfroMall .com, the AfroMall.com. We got all kinds of merchandise there that people can do to support. So Impeccable, I see you were going to put up Sammy the Saver.
I wasn't putting up Sammy the Saver. Sammy is popping up in my back off. I'm like, who is this Sammy? Okay.
Sammy is the man. Let me tell you. Like I said earlier, we got when we found out about that whole the PPP and the EIDL funding and how we didn't qualify, we put together a whole financial literacy program from elementary school all the way up to senior citizens. All right. And so I wrote Sammy the Saver like 4 years ago, April 4 years ago. And the reason why I know that is because it popped up in my timeline and on my Facebook. I said, wow, 4 years ago. Sammy the Saver is about Sammy, obviously. He is the guy that is the financial superhero. That's the guy with the peace sign. Then you have Cash Money Carl. That's the guy holding the money. And then you have Katrina. She is a fashionista.
That sounds familiar.
I mean, when you're writing the story, you can tell the story, right? So Sammy is friends with those two, and they want to save up some money to go to the Queen Bee concert. Now, when did I say I wrote this? 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So who would have known that Beyonce would have a concert right here in the DMV past weekend, right? So Sammy is, trying to find out how he can make some money to go. He goes to his dad and says, hey, Dad, can you give me $400? I'll do extra chores. I'll do this, that, and the other. And his dad said, nah, I'm going to give you $100 and you can invest it. And so Sammy goes to Katrina, the fashionista, and he asks her, "Can I invest in your t-shirt business?" And she says yes. So they go to the mall with cash money, and they go to the t-shirt shop and they buy 40 t-shirts at $250, and they sell them for $20 each on their pop-up. All right. That's how they made their $800 to pay for their $400 each ticket. Meanwhile, Cash Money's at the mall buying another pair of Jordans, some new drip. He's got some video games he's buying, all this stuff. Runs out of money. His card is declined. He has never seen that before. And Sammy and Katrina are like, "Hey, Carl, you ready to buy your ticket? Because we're going to buy our tickets today." And he says, "I don't have any more money." So him and Sammy get into it. Not into a physical altercation, but Sammy is convincing him to go home, get his drip, his Jordans, his chains and all that, come back, put it out on a pop-up table that they already got set up, sell it, and get his ticket to go to the concert. So that's what he does after, 15 minutes or so of convincing him to do this. He runs home, gets his drip, brings it back, lays it out on the table. They still got customers, but they sold out of their 40 t-shirts at $20, got their $800. Carl sells his drip, gets his $400, and guess what? Katrina buys all 3 tickets, and at the end of the book, last scene, the 3 of them are at the Queen Bee concert enjoying themselves. So, written 4 years ago.
Sammy got some money.
Sammy's got sense to save his money, and he teaches others how to spend their money, how to save their money, how to invest their money, how to earn their money, how to budget, and what is debt. So those are the things that Sammy is talking about, and that's what we're doing in the Sammy the Saver comic book. And we're also teaching basic mathematics, if you notice.
Where can we find Sammy? Where can
go to SammyTheSaver.com, SammyTheSaver.com. They can go there and put in for a comic book.
Parents, we not be mad if you're going to read Sammy for yourself, but just put it. Let your kids see Sammy. But if you got to sneak and read Sammy to get some tips too, just get them.
Absolutely. Let me tell you,
that's money manager. Believe me.
A lot of parents have said to me, I read the book too.
Absolutely. It's winding down. This topic of small business we could talk about every day for the next 5 years. Something about small business that won't go out of style. There are small businesses popping up all over. You probably have an idea. You thought you had an idea and you realize it was just an idea. Or you have an idea that solves a real problem and that you can really make an impact. And I'm sure the development center can help you flush out your idea to say, is this really going to make sense? Do you have a chance to even work it out? We're going to get on the box real quick and just give, the box is just you. I don't care if I agree with you or don't agree with you, but whatever you want to say about small business, you on the box and you get the time to get your final thoughts. We want to respect everybody's time. Carl, we appreciate you coming in and sharing. Go to the SBDC, the DC SBDC. That's a new. Sammy need to come up with a song just so we can say that.
And we might get Sammy some hero music. Every superhero needs some music.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to have. It has to have that dollar sign chinging in the background. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because mine is funkin' for Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica, Queens. So.
Okay, I got you. Hey, if you don't know that song, look it up, y'all. Anyway, that's a hit. That's a classic.
Absolutely.
Classic. Courtney, you on the box. We talking about Black people versus small business, and whatever's on your mind. What you thinking about?
Yeah, Carl, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you on. And I love that concept of Sammy the Saver. Yeah. I believe that, our youth, they need to learn more about financial literacy and even about entrepreneurship, because I feel like, children they have that spark of creativity, and once you like feed that spark to them, then who knows, they can be like the next big brand, in the country. So I feel like we need to invest more in our youth. So I just love that, and the visuals were very compelling, and I'm going to check that out myself. And thank you for everything you do for entrepreneurs as well. I do feel like there are a lot of people who want to start a business, but they don't necessarily know how, or they don't have the resources to do it. So thank you for that. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm
Oh,
off the
thank
box.
you. And don't forget, our services are free.
Say it again.
So free with a big capital FREE. Free.
Oh, so
So
they
we
definitely
we
trying to.
eliminated the barrier of you not coming in.
Right. It's just people didn't know about you, but we're gonna help you with that one.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna help you get some people in the door. It sounds like you got enough people coming in, but get ready. You said it's gonna double now that they know about, free to help get your
Free.
business together. Dr. Draper, you're on the box.
Well, so much I could say about small businesses, but first let me echo what Courtney said. Thank you so much, Carl Brown, for joining us on today. Learn something new, always do, from our guests, and so that was very, very helpful. We're gonna come see you because we have a DC office, and we
Yes.
we need some help with some certification through the district's different programs. So we're going to come see that. And so what I want to say to any business, and we're small business like other small businesses, we're trying to get out of that small business category. So we want, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's great. It really is. But too many of our businesses are not able to scale beyond that. So that's just a personal goal that we have. But I want our viewers to know that you can also go to afro.com, not just to subscribe. I know we ask you to subscribe a lot, and we think we're justified in asking you to do that, but we want your news. And we have some free things on our website, afro.com. Go to the events tab. You have an event coming up, you can put your event on there for free. Now, if you want a whole lot of bells and whistles, you want all your flyers, and you want us to know your whole history, you have to pay for the extra. But the basic event piece, I don't think it costs for that. You can post a job as well. So just go to afro.com, scroll down till you see events or see jobs, and check that out. And yes, we also want you to subscribe. $40 for digital, $100 a year for both digital and print, and you can give away one of those. You say, well, I'm a digital person. Good. Spend the $100, or if you want to do it by the month, do $10. But you do the math; it's cheaper if you do it by the year, and share the other one. So thank you so much. And I'm off the box, impeccable.
The box is an imaginary digital box that you step up on. Sometimes you need a couch like Carl has in the background, and you got to lay down. This is talk about small business. This is close to my heart. I probably have a business that's every hour that's written down. I can't do them all, and I want to do them all, but then I think I can't do them all, and I'm not solving enough problems. But at the same time, that's what makes the serial entrepreneur in me so special, Carl, and important. And I love the fact that this is a resource that I don't even know about. And I've had my own business, still have my own business, working in a business. It's unbelievable that these resources are free, and a lot of us don't know about them. So I think
I
you should
know.
take advantage. As you say, there is a SBDC in every state.
Every state. University of Maryland is the lead.
Nationwide. Rachel Humphrey says nationwide.
We are nationwide.
I think I know the one in Georgia Tech. I've been to that one down in Atlanta. But yeah, nationwide, we can get help for free on our businesses with the business plan, with locating accountant. Listen, this is going to be my tip for small business owners. Figure out somebody who can do your books. It's
Yes.
going to help you at the end of the year, or even when you're getting a loan, or when you're trying to put something, buy a piece of equipment, you're trying to buy a vehicle in the business name, and they need certain things. You need business credit, and you have to have your things in order. And look, don't get a business account and buy your personal stuff with it.
Nah.
Don't commingle those two. That's my whole buy out of everything that I said, because the IRS is around. They like hovering to and fro. seeing who they can destroy. They are not playing about their money, and they will come find you and they'll levy your stuff and they'll make it hard for your credit to really and for you to just not only thrive in business but thrive personally. So I'm off the box about the whole thing. Carl, you can end it since you know you might.
I just got one thing to say, man. We offer hope, and you are not alone. And let me tell you, we need to circle around and support our own businesses as much as we can. We give enough of our money to everybody else, and the dollar is short lived in our community. So if there's a black restaurant in there, go to it. If there's the Afro American you looking to buy a newspaper, advertise in our newspaper, and tell your friends and family that, well, this is the newspaper I advertise in, so that they know to go there. You know, we gotta, Sammy the Savior is gonna save us with financial literacy, but we gotta save ourselves. Ain't nobody coming to save us. And take advantage of all these free services that are out here. We out here giving it to everybody, and you need to take advantage of it too. And I'm gonna tell you, my number one demographic is black women. They are taking advantage of our services, and I love it because they are the number one educated demographic in America. Number one, number two, the most educated, right? Number three, they carry the most debt because they pay for that education. So we got their back. We are there for you. Our services are free. We do business intelligence, business research. We help you with your loans. We help you with your business plan, your marketing plan, your financial plan, and we also help you get a loan. So come on in, see us, dcsbdc.org, or if you in the state of Maryland, it is marylandsbdc.org. Spell out Maryland, sbdc.org. Check us out. Services are free.
You can't say free no more times, y'all. You know, I always say call a senior. They would love to hear from you. Don't text them. If they know how that work, FaceTime would be the best. But call them, see how they doing. Let them know you're thinking about them. And be nice and be kind to somebody. Be grateful that you have a chance to learn something. And don't think you know everything. So until next week, God willing, we hope to see Carl Brown, my good Kappa brother. Thank you for coming on, Courtney. And Terrence, our producer who's in the backstage making it all happen. We appreciate you. And share the information. Don't be selfish. Have a great day, everybody.